Elementary teachers, let's grow food gardens with your class in 2024. These days we're talking about summer maintenance because that's one of the biggest question marks in everybody's minds when it comes to growing a garden in a school. And the theme is that if you have a well-designed school garden, the only chore during summer that your parents need to take care of is watering. We've talked about weeding, we've talked about cleaning up, we've talked about watering, and today I want to talk about harvesting. Do your parents need to be there to constantly harvest off of the garden during summertime? And the answer is yes, if you've picked the wrong plants, and no, if you've picked the right ones. This is kind of similar to when I described to you how you would make your garden a chore-free in terms of cleaning up. If you pick the right plants, there's not going to be any cleaning up required during summer. And also there's not going to be any harvesting chore, so that you can easily tell your parents that the only thing they need to take care of is watering. Now, what type of plants do we choose to make sure that there's no harvesting required during summer? We choose the plants that are short maturing so that they get there right before you go away for your summer, so that your students can actually harvest them. Those are things like arugula and leaf lettuce and radishes, spinach, mustard greens. We also plant longer maturing plants, those that will be ready to harvest in fall when you come back. Things like big tomatoes, no cherry tomatoes, zucchinis, corn, beans, things like that. You can also replant the short maturing plants after you harvest them, so that when you come back in fall, they are bolted in flowers and seeds are ready to save, which is a fantastic lesson for the kids. So the plants and the planning and in terms of the timing that you arrange should be in a way that your kids plant, harvest, replant, and come back in fall and harvest. So you shouldn't have anything that desperately requires harvesting during summertime. Now you might be thinking, but what about sharing the food with the community? Maybe it's a good thing that the parents need to harvest during summer because they're going to be happy about harvesting. Well, not everybody is happy about that because most of them, they don't really need the food. And secondly, that would sound like a chore to them. And there's also concerns in terms of, do I know how to harvest each one of these plants? Maybe I'm messing it up. So it's better that I don't volunteer. You don't want that to happen. And most importantly, I'm not saying don't share the food with the community. What I'm saying is this is not a community garden. It's a school garden. So whatever food that's being shared with the community has to be done through the students. And the students aren't there during summer. So the harvesting that you do for the short maturing plants at the end of spring before summer, that can be shared with the community. It can be sold in a little market that your students put together. It can be donated to food banks. It can be cooked with and shared with the community that way, which is wonderful. And also the food that your students harvest after they come back in fall, that also can be shared with the community. But it's best that everything is done through your students because it's an educational garden, and anything that the parents do for the students is a missed learning opportunity for them. Okay, so that's how you make sure that there's no harvesting chore for your parents to do. So no weeding, no cleaning up, no harvesting, only watering. Now, I want to bring your attention again back to the fact that all of this about an outdoor garden, which requires summer maintenance, is about the phase 2 of your gardening, because your school garden has to be done in 2 phases, and phase 1 is what you need to be thinking about right now. Go grab your spot on my free 60-minute video called School Gardens with Ease 2024, in which I explain to you the phase 1, phase 2 thoroughly with all the practical details. I'll see you in there.